All right, welcome in Aquarians to your August 2025 monthly reading. How is everyone doing? It is a hot one here today where I'm at. But the sun is shining. We gotta be grateful for that. So, yeah, we moved on to Leo season. So the themes and reflections for August and kind of the foundation of the sun being in Leo is creativity, courage, and fun. So what again, what you're supposed to do with the monthly themes is kind of think of the word, courage in your life and where can you be more courageous? Where are you not being courageous? And how do you kind of expand in that area? And the same for creativity. Tap into your creativity this month, because when the sun is in a sign, it's really helping us expand and shine a light on that. And that's also a source to gain some sort of happiness and joy and kind of focusing on that area for the month. So again, it's a month to really get out there, have fun, follow your bliss, do things that, inspire you to create, however that appeals for you, whether it's actual like crafts or doing art or, creating, maybe it's you want to write something, maybe you want to build something, maybe you want to think of, a way to help other people and create a new energy method, or you can runs the gamut, creating a new world and just writing it down. And maybe if that really lights your passion and it makes you happy to think of this different sort of world, fantasy. And not that you have to write a book, but just imagine this world and think of the characters and the people there, or the beings, however that is. Because Leo is about the self and really who am I, but it's about not who I want to be, but who am I really? Okay. It is who do I want to be, but it can't be based on, well, who do I want to be to get attention? Who do I want to be because other people who do I want to create so that people like me? It's the same thing with products or businesses or ideas. It should never come from a place of what do other people want? What will sell, right? It's, in business, even they ask you about, what's your why? And if you guys have ever heard of Simon Sinek, he's big into just business, and he does a lot of speaking engagements, but it's about what's your why? Why are you doing something? Why are you creating this product? Why are you trying to create this business? Why are you trying to, learn this new spiritual, whatever, grow in a certain spiritual skill set, or learn Reiki? Why do you want to paint? Okay, why do you want to help other people? And it's really about being radically honest with yourself, because the only way, the best way to manifest and build and to build and expand and to really expand into the potential of the limitless possibilities of the universe is really coming from a place of authenticity. But just to give you a little disclaimer here, authenticity isn't about wealth. Your true self isn't thinking about, well, I want to make a lot of money. Your true self is saying, I want to do this because it makes it I'm passionate about it. I do this because I really love animals. I want to sell real estate because I love connecting with people, and I like helping people find their align with their dreams. And I want to help people, my intention is to be there, to be a source, to help people authentically understand finances, and so they don't get screwed over and things like that. So that's your, that's when it's coming from your truth. When it aligns with your passion and your heart and your love, and it really fills you. And that's what people always get confused, because they think, oh, if it fills me, maybe that's too selfish, right? If it's just filling me up, if it makes me happy, but then I'm not thinking of other people. But what you don't understand is that is the only way to help other people, is to fill you up first. And it's in filling you up. If something's filling you up, the energy is aligning. And you're plugged into the universal energy when it's filling you. And the same with relationships. Is it filling you up? Are you getting fulfilled by this relationship? Physically, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, mentally. Are you getting filled up? Because then you're tapped into someone that is in true alignment with you. If you're not getting filled up, if you're only getting filled up with money because, oh, this is a good security, or I'm only getting filled up because I have kids with this person and it's good for my kids, but in every other aspect you're not getting filled up, I'm going to be completely honest with you, you are not doing what's in the best interest of your child. That's actually very selfish. And most people, if they really dig down and are radically honest with themselves, they're just creating justifications of why they stay, because for some reason they don't have the courage to leave. Or for some reason the money is a security source for them. Or this person somehow is some sense of you don't want to be alone. Okay, something like that. So Aquarians, for some reason I'm ranting on about this, but there's all a reason for that, and obviously you needed to hear that. So I'm going with it. All right. So if anyone's interested in a private reading with me, you can book one in my on my website, which is in the description below. If you have any questions about individual readings, you can actually, there's kind of an area, a comments questions area on my website that you can submit there. You can also put them in the comments below on these videos as well. I do try and read all the comments and respond. But, again, you can use either method. So, yeah, there we go. Kind of moving into themes and trends for August. So, Ace of Swords has been crazy coming out, and also the Five of Wands, those two cards. So again, it's really about radical truth and honesty this month, radical authenticity. You have to be honest. Another thing is the Ace of Swords is like cutting through any sort of deception, illusions, things that you've been denying or in denial about. It's time to really face what is the truth in certain situations or relationships. If you, again, have just been staying in something out of some sort of ties that bind you to this person, whether it's codependencies, unhealthy attachments, they give you something like money, or but it's not healthy, it's toxic, you are really going to be shown the true toxicity of the situation. You're also, people's truths are going to be coming out, whether it's good or bad this month. You're really going to be seeing someone's truth and seeing through anyone's BS. Also, if you're unsure or unsure about someone and their intention is actually aligned with love, you're also going to see that. So again, it could go either way. The Five of Swords, what I really channeled, and I actually really dove in to do a little reading on the Five of Swords for myself to help explain it to you guys, because it was coming up so much. And again, it's really representing the conflict either internally within yourself if there's internal conflict going on, it's because your truth isn't aligning with some belief within you. And that was really built, programmed into you as a child. So you still have these belief systems that aren't true. They're lies that you've still been living as your forefront. And then, but your truth has always been there in the background saying, this isn't true, this isn't true. And that does create conflict within you. It can create anxiety, it can create depression. Because what happens is you start to really try and disconnect yourself from your true self, and also from the parts of you that know your truth. So a lot of people really cut themselves off. And what you're doing is creating disconnection. And you're abandoning yourself. And that also creates depression and anxiety and a lot of other mental and even physical disorders. So that's what that Five of Cups or Five of Wands is. Also, that's obviously going to manifest out in your external world. So any sort of conflicts that you feel like are patterns in your life with, let's say, with people, maybe it's jobs is a theme, or love, family, friendships. Those conflicts, you need to start seeing things in a different perspective also. And seeing, really understanding, going to the depth of the conflict and why it's there. And it's really going to ask you to change. Some of the change may be internal in how you approach things, which is going to be the most prevalent. Sometimes it may ask you and say, this is a toxic situation, and no matter, as long as you stay in this connection, it's going to create disharmony for your life. So it could mean that you have to kind of distance yourself from certain people, or even walk away from people. So let's, I'm doing an ocean theme with the cards this month. One more thing, God, there is so much, this is taking a lot of time for you Aquarians for some reason, but this is important stuff. I also got these chakra candles, these energy candles, and I am intuitively picking a chakra energy / for each sign that I feel like for some reason is a focus for you all. And for Aquarians, I have the throat chakra energy here, which represents, via these candles, positive energy. And I light the candle for you all, so the energy of the fire is helping to release the energy out and bring passion and positive healing, support, whatever you need from a throat chakra place. And the message on here says that the throat chakra is the center of communication. You will be drawn to meet new and wonderful people and embrace experiences that will encourage your spiritual growth. And for some reason, I feel like for you Aquarians in the throat, it represents expressing your truth. And this is a month where if you've been hiding your truth, if you've been holding your truth back just to, avoid conflict or avoid potentially having to face a serious decision within a relationship, it's time to be radically honest. So the first card out, breakthrough to new dimensions. A new endeavor is on the horizon. Innovative energy wants to burst forth into your consciousness. Ooh, I love that. And breakthroughs too are about to innovate. That's very Aquarian. Innovation, change in the form of, the getting out of the traditional, what traditional things aren't working anymore. How can we change, innovate, make things better, efficiencies. And this is from Aquarian energy is very broad. It represents the collective. So it's about helping other people, helping expand. But there is definitely some new endeavor, an opportunity here. And I think it's really inspiring you. I feel like you're going to be passionate about it. And it's about putting it out there. And also putting yourself out there, which maybe you haven't always felt comfortable doing. Sharks. This one's been coming out a lot. Embrace your primal instincts and navigate life's waters with fierce determination. This, again, is putting yourself out there. Courage, strength, and being... I almost feel like it is calling for you to be more fierce in how you approach things. I'm not saying like from an angry or aggressive standpoint, but assertiveness in a way that's balanced and harmonized and coming from a place of love and passion. The energy that people are receiving is going to be a lot different. Sunken treasure. Discover hidden riches within yourself and trust that abundance flows where intention goes. We just talked about all that. Where is your intention coming from? If your intention is coming from a place of alignment with who you really are, from a place of love, that's where you're going to manifest and bring forth the true abundance and reaching potentials that you've never envisioned or even thought you could before. And then Ocean's Offering. Listen to the whispers of your soul and let the beauty of simplicity guide you. I'm hearing another thing of don't overcomplicate something. If there is some sort of opportunity, endeavor, work opportunity, business opportunity, or creative, or even a relationship, don't overcomplicate it. Also, I feel like your intuition is really talking to you a lot. And it's time to listen to what use your intuition as your compass through this process or the situation. And that's where you're going to be guided to get the best outcome and best and highest good. Don't get swayed too much either. There could be, for some of you, I'm hearing like sharks in the water, as far as there could be people that want something and they're willing to do certain things. They can be very controlling and want something and want it now from you. But I feel like for some of you, your intuition is kind of saying, I don't think this is right now. I don't want this right now. Maybe we should wait. Or I just don't feel that this is a good direction to go in. Listen to you, okay? Don't let other people manipulate you into getting something that they want. So we just had a flyer here. This is the Four of Swords, which is like healing, rest, rejuvenation, kind of. Also, something I felt learned new about the Four of Swords could also be about praying for some sort of blessing, getting blessed in some way. But I feel like there's something about like the simplicity of like just enjoying the month of August. That's what I'm kind of getting from this Four of Swords, is like just rest, do things that you enjoy. Don't get too serious. And I think that's going to actually help you more than, thinking that you have to be very productive this month or get out there and be doing a lot. So we have the Six of Swords, the Two of Swords, the Four of Cups, the King of Swords, the Page of Swords, and the Fool. Oh, look at that. Judgment. So what I'm getting here is there's a direction you want to go in. It's kind of like there's some progress. You are making movement, but there's a direction you want to go in. But I feel like there's an internal block that maybe there's a goal or a direction you want to go in or an outcome you're looking for, but you're definitely trying to go into a place in your life where there's more ease and things that are in alignment with you, more harmony. But there's still some disharmony internally, energetically for you. You have an internal block. This could be an armor that you've have had around you energetically, like I said again, to protect yourself because of trauma from your past, heartaches from your past. And I feel like definitely it's been aligned with some sort of loss from an emotional standpoint. There's some sort of disconnection here. I think you're too focused on what you don't have and kind of saying, oh, this can't happen. Maybe I had it in the past, but I can't have it again. But I feel like with the Four of Pearls here, there's a pearl coming down from the universe. So you can have it. You can have maybe something you had in the past that you lost. Or you can find wholeness within yourself, even though you went through some sort of trauma, maybe as a child. But there's some sort of block here. And I think this is what is, it's almost like as you're moving forward, there's some sort of like, I can't get past this certain point. And it's because of this. So you need to work through this, whether it's some form of healing to identify. I always recommend IFS therapy. I think that's amazing, and really identifying. This is really, IFS goes to all the different layers of the onion. I mean, things that you would never even think of. It could be some form of energy block. It could be form of a part of you that's stuck, actually stuck in that traumatic event. So they constantly still think they're there. It could be a protective part that is literally because of the trauma, you created it unconsciously from a psychological perspective to protect you. And so that part continues to think you are unsafe and that trauma can happen again. But now you're an adult and you have control now and you are safe. So you need to basically unburden that part of you. You don't need this armor anymore. I also feel like there's someone here. So Aquarians, this could be you, because you are an air sign. The King of Swords is, it is aligned with air. So a Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, or you could be dealing with another Aquarius or Gemini or Libra. But I feel like there's some sort of, I feel like you have a lot of hesitation with this person, hesitation in communicating. I think how you communicate is more very from a surface level. I think you're cautious about going deep with this person. And it's just more, the conversation doesn't go very deep, I don't feel. And I think this is also just coming up because it's showing you why you have a block here. And it could be that this person just brings this out in you. But what's happening in August is your higher self in the universe is asking for you to really face something that you haven't been willing to face. There is a judgment day here. I do feel like something like there's a new path that you're destined to go down. And it's almost like you do have to start over in some sense, in some aspect of your life, which I think there's fear around. And it's like you have to make a very big decision. And I feel like, again, there's fear around this. I feel like you don't feel like you have the confidence to do this. Maybe you feel like this small fish in a big sea and you feel safe where you're at, where you've been. It could be a relationship. It could be a job. It could be like not putting yourself out there in some sense. But I feel like you're going to be asked to do this, and it's going to be a big shift for you. This is a big change with the Fool and Judgment. This is life-changing. I feel like life keeps asking you to make this decision, and you keep resisting it. And there's some sense of like making excuses that are all about the external world or other people or why you can't. It's never being radically honest with yourself and saying, I don't feel safe enough. Like, this is my comfort zone and this person is my comfort zone, and that's fine. But But what's interesting here, look at these dynamics. Look at this page who has to stand up to this king. I mean, that can be intimidating. So whether if you feel like you're the page or the king, there's a situation here, a connection where one person overpowers the other and has more of the sense of control. And I feel like one person is really intimidated by not giving this person what they want. And you're just kind of their page. Like, they're going to say, I want this. And it's like, you just have to give it, right? But that's where we go back to some of this up here of like I said, the sharks in the water, or listen to your soul. Like, if your intuition is saying, no, I don't want to do that. Or I want to discuss this dynamic, because this dynamic isn't really healthy and balanced. So it could also be like facing the reality of this dynamic and addressing the imbalance here. So that could be for some of you. 10 of Swords. Something has to end here. So let's see here. Something could have just ended, or something does need to end. 3 of Pentacles. And the 9 of Swords. So there's definitely some anxiety and worry about this. You're thinking a lot about it. If something hasn't ended yet and you realize that something has to change, and really something has to completely change, like something has to end and something new has to be kind of come out of this. If there's like a third party energy going on, that has to end. Like I said, that can be certain dynamics in relationships, which is like the third party. And a lot of times people who are like this, the 2 of Swords, like if you're blocked, if someone has armor up, you can't get deep with them. Like, even though you think you are, or there's love and you're in this long-term relationship, like this is a third party here. This is a third energy that's preventing this person from fully opening up, whether that's you or them. 5 of Cups, the World, 7 of Pentacles. So definitely something could have ended recently, because the 5 of Cups is about loss, sadness, grief, over something lost. You know, you could have, some of you maybe actually went through, actually no, that would be the Death card, but so something ended, it was sad, or something does have to end, and there is grief, there is sadness around it, but it had to end here with the World. Like, this is like the circle of life, right? Like, things come and go, we experience things, and we need to shift and change, and like the World means like, sometimes when things actually come together, sometimes the things that don't align with this new leveling up, in a sense, in your life needs to end. And, you know, it's not always, you know, endings that we're like, oh, yay, right? It could be something where that's a pattern of yours where you, because of your trauma, like you have a really hard time letting go of things, or just change in general. But I think what the worry and anxiety is that something's going to actually pay off. Like, maybe you had to end something to almost take a risk, because you realize, like, for you to, you've put a lot of time and energy maybe in this relationship, and that gives you anxiety and worry about, what does this look like on the other side? It could also be like worry and anxiety about, because you've been in this so long, like how are they going to react if you haven't ended it yet? But I feel like there's some sort of treasure out of this. Like, you're going to gain something by ending this. And it's like the treasure is going to come after. It's like almost like, you know, you have to go through this difficult And that's another thing, like, why did you have to go through this? Why does this have to end for me to actually open up something new in my life that I really wanted? And I feel like this is a block. But you're going to gain some sort of treasure. Something new is going to open up for you that this situation or person has been blocking. Six of Cups, Three of Wands, and the Two of Coral. Yeah, definitely. So you've wished for something. So when the Two of Wands and Three of Wands, if you've been a subscriber for a while and watch my videos, you know this. But if you're new, when the Two and Three of Wands come out together in a reading, to me this represents, like, the Two of Wands is like you put something out there. You put an intention out, you put a wish. You're like, I want this, I want to go in this direction. And the Three of Wands is actually coming into you. So it's like a wish received, an intention now realized. So you've been asking for something, and the fact that, like, maybe there's some sort of struggle in thinking that, do I have to let this go to actually get this? And the answer is yes. And I've gone through that in my life where I just knew, like, I resisted and resisted because I'm like, I knew, like, I just don't want to have to let this go to allow something else in. But I kept feeling that I had to. It's like I knew in my gut, I knew in my intuition, I was being guided and saying, you have to let this go for something else to come in. And I just kept fighting and fighting it until finally I just surrendered to it. There is some grief from the past that has to be reconciled here. And maybe it's facing this relationship, and it's almost like you have to come face to face with the reality of why, like if it's a relationship, of why we came together. But what's our truth? And the truth is this relationship really hasn't done anything emotionally fulfilling for us. So why have we been attached to each other, and facing that reality? And the fact is, you can still move forward and not be together, but you can still have a connection. So maybe there's something there about that. But if you're not in a relationship that you're like, this doesn't resonate, there is still something, I feel, that you have to come to some sort of, you have to reconcile it from the past. Something really hardcore happened to you. You have to reconcile it. You have to face it. You have to do some healing here. And when you start doing that, you're going to see your world just changing. So what is it that has to be reconciled here? What's the Ten of Swords, Five of Cups, Two of Cups? It is around love. So it is around the heart space. Definitely there was some sort of real hit to your heart. Like really, you were hit pretty hard. It could have been a past relationship that you lost. It could have been some big betrayal. You were really hurt in the past by love. And maybe it even just stems from the love of your parents that you never got. So what's the Three of Pentacles? Ten of Pentacles. I think this is tied to your family or ancestral karma that has this this pain body, this trauma wound that's very prevalent. And there's almost something I'm getting about, there's kind of this inequality of, give and take going on. It's almost like you want family and friends that like support each other, that help each other, that, you know, that just celebrate each other, you know, that we align. We're a soul family here. We're a soul tribe. But I feel like that's definitely been a source of also heartache as well for you. There is also, I think this has been a source of like your anxiety here. A lot of worry and anxiety. The Magician. I just don't think you realize your power. I think there's a lot of self-esteem or lack of confidence. And maybe you felt like you have been standing up for yourself more, but have you really been speaking your truth? And when we think of, it can't just be in a certain situation or with certain people. It has to be with everyone here. And I feel like you're keeping yourself small in a situation that your soul has been telling you since for a long time that this is not where you're supposed to be, but you continue to stay. And that is a huge source of your anxiety, because you are fighting, you're essentially fighting your higher self. So what is this block to help you move forward? Yeah, you're really been holding yourself back. You've been holding on to a person or situation, like you won't let go of this, but this is what's blocking you. I mean, these cards are all block cards. This is all about, you make decisions out of a sense of safety or security, like what's comfortable for you. You need to get out of your comfort zone. And that means like getting out of relationships that you consider your comfort zone. Maybe there's positive aspects to these relationships, but again, they're not aligned with who you really are and where you're going. So what's the Judgment Fool? Yeah, there's something destined here. And in August, I feel like August is like do or die time. Like the universe is like, you can't sit on the fence anymore. And then what's with the King in this page dynamic down here? King and page dynamic. Queen of Coral in reverse. Yeah, so this dynamic is really impacting your growth. I feel like this has kind of, I'm trying to explain this. It's like taking your confidence and power and passion away. And you try to blame it on you. It's almost like I feel like you think you're in your passion and your power, but I really feel like you're not. And you're not truly able to express your true authentic self, your true passions, your true desires with this person. And more like I'm saying how I feel about this dynamic, it's more of like a parent-child connection here. And that has really dampened your kind of goddessness. Like I feel this, like whether you're a goddess or a god, if you're male or female, like I feel like you have this just passion, this attraction, this magnetism, this energy that wants to just expand. And there's people and things that that are going to help you grow and expand. But you've kind of been keeping yourself small in this connection. So what wants to come in here? What wants to come in? Yeah, look at that. I was just talking about goddess or god. Look at the Empress. Yeah, you, I mean, you got people and places and things to do, like people to have relationships with. I mean, you're gonna level up, like you're fated to level up. There's someone out there as well that sees you as a goddess and god that's really gonna, like, you're going to be their empress or their emperor. Kind of a divine union or soulmate connection here. This is also something is ready to be birthed. Like the Empress represents fertility, Not, and look at that, Ace of Pentacles, yeah. So look at that too. It's like the oyster grows the pearl, right? And the pearl is getting too big for this oyster shell. And that's a good metaphor for your life. Like, it's time, like, the pearl can't stay where it's at. And there's a new door opening for you to walk into some sort of new reality. So I feel like something's definitely coming shortly where you're going to have an opportunity to kind of easily somehow separate from the situation or this person. And I feel like if you take advantage of it, there's a way to, in the same breath, speaking your truth. And I think the Judgment to me is almost like there's an opportunity where, you know, maybe you guys are going to move. You've been talking about moving, and it's like, this is your chance to kind of use this as a way to, or if this is a job, you know, there's some opportunity to like kind of easily get yourself out of there. Six of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, definitely there's this imbalance. Again, I keep feeling like there's this parent-child. Like, if this is love, like, you'll know. For those of you that this resonates with, like, you'll be like, yep, your marriage or relationship, it's totally like you're more of a caregiver or take care of the things, but there's not really this equitable, like, passion or love, or this person gives into your life with them or to you as you give back type of energy there. But this is also saying that this new opportunity for you is to find more balance and harmony within your life. All right, Aquarians, a lot here. You can kind of sit on this and noodle on it for a while and allow yourself to sink in and gain some spiritual insight from it. But you guys have a good month ahead. Stay connected on the weekly readings, and I may pop in a few, you know, new readings or different ones, so keep watching there. But let me know how you're doing in the comments, and definitely like and subscribe before you go. But thanks for joining in. See you next time.